In tonight's Last Word, an extraordinary act of journalistic bravery. Dana Schwartz, an arts and culture reporter at the New York Observer, published an open letter to her boss, who happens to be Donald Trump's son-in-law and also happens to be Jewish. Jared Kushner is often used as a shield by Donald Trump and the Trump campaign to prove that Donald Trump is not anti-Semitic. This became relevant once again this weekend when Donald Trump tweeted this. The tweet was lifted from an anti-Semitic website in which the star was clearly intended to be interpreted as the Star of David. Dana Schwartz decided it was time to publicly confront her boss. In her open letter to Jared Kushner, she said this: "I'm asking you, not as a gotcha journalist or as a liberal, but as a human being, how do you allow this? When you stand silent and smiling in the background, his Jewish son-in-law, you're giving his most hateful supporters tacit approval." Joining us now for an exclusive Last Word interview is Dana Schwartz, arts and culture writer for The Observer. Dana, this was an extraordinary thing to read, and what struck me about it right away was, wow, you didn't have to do this. I mean, no one has to do it, but you're the arts and culture writer. Politics is not your place at the Observer, and it was so perfectly phrased throughout, and the political points made so perfectly. How long were you thinking about doing this? Was this like a last straw thing with that tweet, or?
Well, the tweet was one thing, and then the response from his supporters really clarified how horrific this campaign has been in my mind. I mean, I woke up as with many Americans on July 2nd when he tweeted that original image, sort of awestruck that a major political party candidate could get away with such blatant anti-Semitic imagery. And when I tweeted about it, the response I got from people all wearing Make America Great Again hats was horrific, to say the least. I excerpted some of them in the article I wrote, but they were invoking the Holocaust. Some photoshopped my image in an oven with Donald Trump pushing the on button. Horrific and blatant anti-Semitism. And the fact that Donald Trump then took back the tweet and blamed it on the media being oversensitive instead of, I guess, his anti-Semitic supporters being oversensitive for reading too much into it, that was the last straw to me. And
David Duke tweeted his support for the tweet and a kind of, "We get it, we know what you're trying to tell us, Donald."
Yeah, because whatever Donald is saying, it's a wink and nod to his anti-Semitic white supremacist supporters. He may say it's a sheriff star, but to people like David Duke and his kin, it's not. They're not seeing it as a sheriff star.
What do you say to people who say, of course, Donald Trump couldn't possibly traffic in anti-Semitism? He has a Jewish son-in-law.
I think that's the most inane non-argument. It's like saying someone can't be sexist because they're kind to their mother. I think what Jared Kushner is doing and standing silent and idly by while so many people are blatantly anti-Semitic in Donald Trump's name is really unforgivable, because whether or not Donald Trump is anti-Semitic, he might be a wonderful person, and I've never met him, and he might not be anti-Semitic himself, but he's willing to court those voters and send them these blatant winks and nudges in order to get their support. And that's what I find so unnerving.
Jared Kushner, your boss, owner of The Observer, issued a response today to what you'd written, and he said the suggestion that he may be intolerant is not reflective of the Donald Trump that I know. Have you heard from Jared Kushner personally?
Not personally. I read the response. I thought it was a bit of a non-response. He didn't really touch upon the issue I had in my article, which is Donald Trump may be a tolerant person as an individual, but his policies and the message he's putting out are, for whatever reason, and play dumb all you want, but they're attracting horribly anti-Semitic people.
And what was the reaction at work at everybody at The Observer?
From individuals, the reaction was incredibly supportive. And I feel lucky to work at a place where they let me publish this piece.
It must be a difficult place to be these days when your owner is Donald Trump's son-in-law, this campaign going on. You and your colleagues there must have all sorts of angst about that.
You know, the thing is, until now, I have just been an arts and culture writer, and I have been focusing, and since The Apprentice isn't on television, I haven't had to write about Donald Trump. But for me, because so many of the anti-Semitic attacks were coming at me personally, I felt it was necessary to use my position as an employee of Jared Kushner to speak up.
So you stay in touch with us. It'll be interesting to see what happens as time goes by here. I fear for your job if you don't. Do you fear for your job tonight?
Well, I did ask Ken about the anti-Semitic responses I get to when I tweet about Donald Trump, and he gave me the go-ahead. If I lose my job, it'll be because I took a stand on something I genuinely believe in, and I won't be disappointed in that.
Dana Schwartz, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Dana Schwartz gets tonight's last word.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News. Thanks for tuning in. So I thought you guys want to see this. I thought it was kind of funny. Oh my God, these people who love to scream anti-Semitism. I've been dealing with them since day one on YouTube. I've been dealing with them before that, you can trust me. Because I've always been a loud voice. I've been dealing with those people forever. You know, all day long they've been saying, oh, the Anti-Defamation League says Donald Trump's tweet was anti-Semitic. You know, and I mean, that there's nothing they love saying more. These people that they love screaming anti-Semite. They live for the opportunity to be able to say that publicly. This person on the O'Donnell show is like, oh, I have to be brave and step up and say this thing. And someone put a picture of me in an oven. I have to be brave and step up and say this thing. Okay? This is bullshit. You know. This person knows the second she screams anti-Semite at a presidential candidate, right? Basically, there's two of them in this country, which is such a load of bullshit. I mean, Jill Stein, if she was put in front of these people, you know what, Bernie Sanders should run as an independent. I don't know, man. Jill Stein and Bernie Sanders, you know, again, there you go. I'm not anti-Semitic. Here I am saying Jill Stein and Bernie Sanders, what a team that would make. Okay? These people who love to scream anti-Semitism. This girl that was just on the Lawrence O'Donnell show, right? I met her at a party. I swear to you, I met this girl at a party at an Amazon billionaire's house here in Seattle. He throws 3 or 4 parties every year. I used to be on the guest list. I guess he didn't like the way I partied, or probably the people I brought with me. I'm pretty sure it was the people I brought with me. But I digress. I met her at an Amazon billionaire's house. Right? I walk up to her and I say, interesting party, huh? And I swear to God, she looked at me and said, I'm Jewish. And I'm like, good luck with that. And walked away. I mean, what the hell is that supposed to mean? I have no idea what the hell that is supposed to mean. None. Zero. I don't get it. You know who's racist? Somebody who has to tell you that they're Jewish, the first sentence out of their fucking mouth. I'm the chosen people. You're not allowed to speak to me. Good luck with that. Yes, I'm an anti-Semite. Jill Stein and Bernie Sanders. Yeah, I'm an anti-Semite. That makes so much fucking sense. These people. Donald Trump is a racist. He called that judge a Mexican. Have you ever met an Italian-American woman? She's not going to tell you that she's Italian-American. She's going to say, I'm Italian. My family's Italian. That judge is Mexican. Mexican-American, sure, you can add that in. But he comes from Mexican heritage. He's Mexican. And the reason that he's too biased to judge Donald Trump is because he's pro-illegal immigration. And Donald Trump is just too stupid to be able to express that vocally. He's pro-illegal immigration. Donald Trump is anti-everything immigration. Unless you got a lot of money. I'm sure those guys are welcome. Yeah, Donald Trump's a racist. He's attracting all the racist people. All the You know, I hate that I have to say stuff about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a douche. Okay? That's, you know, and it's unfortunate that we only have two candidates in this country. We have turd sandwich and a giant douche. And it's really fucking sad. I thought you'd want to see that. I thought it was funny. If you want to buy me lunch, there's a clickable link in the text body of the video. I like lunch. And then if you want to see Donald Trump's speech from this afternoon, there's a clickable link. It says Alternate Mox News YouTube page. That's posted over there because I still have copyright strike against me for 30 more days. August 6th, we get our longer than 15-minute video publishing abilities back. Yay. I hope. Okay, thanks for tuning in. My name's Mike. This is my YouTube page.
Compassion stirred the Buddha to send his monks out into the community. Sworn to chastity and poverty, they wandered the roads, bringing the Buddha's teachings into the world. Go forth, monks, for the happiness of the many, out of compassion for the world. There are beings whose eyes have little dust on them, who will perish if they do not hear the teaching. But if they hear the teaching, they will gain liberation.
The monks exist by begging. We think of begging as kind of a bad thing. Begging in this tradition is a good thing. It's a sign of spiritual purity.
You're not allowed to beg tomorrow's lunch today. Only today's lunch. Then you can't eat from noon until dawn the next day. Then you have to go out and get another lunch. And then in exchange for lunch, you give a lecture. Unless they say we don't want to hear about it, then you don't. But that's the only thing but that forces you to interact with the lay community.
And if you're not serving them, if you're not doing something useful for them, they won't put anything in your bowl, and that will be the end of your community.